Once upon a time, Six Flags lost its freaking mind. They did things that will never be done again, because those things were stupid. So let's dive in and take a look at what happened. In 2019, Six Flags is adding 3 new coasters to their parks. In 2018, they added 4 new coasters. In 2017, they added 3. In 2016, they added just 2. Notice the pattern here? I think you get the point. It's normal for the chain to add an average of 3 coasters per year. But what if I told you that at one point, they exceeded that average not by double, triple, quadruple, or even quintuple. They exceeded it 7-fold. That's right, 21 coasters in 1 year. Let's take a look back at the year Six Flags lost their minds. It was the year Christina Aguilera was in a bottle, Smash Mouth were all-stars, and Ricky Martin's Vita was as loca as Six Flags. The Yankees were in the middle of their latest dynasty, John Elway went out a champion, and the U.S. women's soccer team took home the most famous World Cup title ever. Bill Clinton wriggled off the hook and the Vladimir Putin era began. Napster would change the way that we would listen to music forever, internet commerce produced a booming economy, and the tech world was freaking out about Y2K. As for me, I was graduating from elementary school. The year was 1999, and Six Flags opened 21 coasters across its parks in North America and Europe. Of the 21, 6 were kids coasters that went to the then Six Flags owned Wallaby Wavre, Magic Mountain, 2 at Great Adventure, Marine World, and Six Flags America. There were also 5 cookie cutter Vekomas, the boomerangs at Fiesta Texas and Elitch Gardens, the inverted boomerang at Six Flags America, and a pair of SLCs at Wallaby Wavre and Astro World. Nightmare at Crack Axle Canyon was a relocated indoor Schwarzkopf at Great Escape. There were a pair of wooden coasters added with Roar at Marine World and Bandit at Movie Park Germany, as well as a pair of Premier Ride Spaghetti Bowl coasters with Joker's Jinx at Six Flags America and Poltergeist at Fiesta Texas. The chain would also debut their first Intamin mega coaster with Superman Ride of Steel at Darien Lake. And then there were the 4 B&Ms, the last stand-up coaster to ever be built, Georgia Scorcher at Over Georgia, the first Flores coaster to ever be built, Medusa at Great Adventure, a Batman the Ride inverted coaster at Over Texas, and one of the original B&M hypers, Raging Bull at Great America. 21 coasters. It was an unprecedented year that we would never see again in the amusement park industry. After 1999, Six Flags learned a lesson that adding 21 coasters in a single year is irresponsible and unnecessary and... Wait, what's that? They did the same exact thing the next year. The year 2000 turned out to be even more insane than 1999. 4 were kiddie or small family coasters at New England, Six Flags Ohio, and 2 at Marine World. There were also 2 Wild Mouse editions at Six Flags Holland and Movie World Germany. Only 3 cookie cutter Vekomas in 2000. Flashback at New England, Speed of Sound in Holland, and the SLC Batman the Ride at Six Flags Mexico. Vekoma wasn't done though. They installed the outdoor version of Rock and Roller Coaster, Express Platform 13, at Six Flags Holland, and at the same park they put in a wooden coaster, Robin Hood. This was one of 4 wooden coasters installed at the Six Flags parks that year. The other 3 were CCI creations in The Boss at St. Louis, Villain at Six Flags Ohio, and Medusa at Six Flags Mexico. Intamin installed the chain's first impulse coaster in Superman Ultimate Escape at Six Flags Ohio, as well as a clone of Darien Lake's Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags America, and they completely outdid themselves with the Superman Ride of Steel Mega Coaster at Six Flags New England, a masterful layout that would go on to win the Golden Ticket Award for Best Steel Coaster 5 times. There were 3 B&M floorless coasters installed, Superman Krypton Coaster at Fiesta Texas, Batman Night Flight at Six Flags Ohio, and Medusa at Marine World. But the one that kicked off the new millennium was the world's tallest coaster, opening in February that year, Goliath at Magic Mountain. In case you weren't keeping score at home, 5 parks received multiple coasters, and that includes 4 new coasters for Six Flags Ohio and Six Flags Holland. These were the newest additions to the chain and a pair of parks that they really wanted to build up. To understand the rhyme behind Six Flags' reason requires an examination of the rest of the amusement industry at the time. There were some solid coasters being added in 1999, like Busch Gardens' Apollo's Chariot and Gwazi, Carowinds' Afterburn, Dollywood's Tennessee Tornado, and the B&M's The Brand New Islands of Adventure. But what happened in 2000 really tells the story. Goliath's unusual February opening allowed Six Flags to claim the world's tallest coaster for all of 3 months before an icon was born.
At the turn of the millennium, there were signs. Was there something out there? A higher intelligence? A mysterious force at work? Millennium Force. The future is riding on it.
Cedar Point's Millennium Force shattered the record for the world's tallest coaster, but even Cedar Point couldn't claim this title for long, as less than 3 months later, Steel Dragon 2000 at Japan's Nagashima Spa Land surpassed it. Long story short, this was the climax of the first coaster war that started a decade earlier when Cedar Point opened Magnum XL 200, the first hypercoaster. It wasn't quite the final salvo of that war, as parks kept adding world's first and record breakers into 2001 through 2003, but it was definitely the climax when we saw the height record being broken 3 times in less than 6 months, plus the first Vekoma Flying Dutchman in stealth at Paramount's Great America, and the only hyper-looping wooden coaster in Son of Beast. Not as impressive, but still noteworthy, 2000 also saw the introduction of Holiday World's Legend, Hershey Park's Lightning Racer, and Lake Compounce's Boulder Dash. Six Flags' rapid expansion slowed down significantly going into 2001, but they still had some significant additions, including Goliath's upgraded twin, Titan, at Over Texas, as well as a pair of Vekoma Flying Dutchmen. One of them went to Six Flags America, and the other went to the newly branded Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. Six Flags had just acquired SeaWorld Ohio and combined it with Six Flags Ohio to form the new Mega Park that was supposed to compete with the nearby Cedar Point. They also added a pair of Intamin Impulse coasters, 3 Deja Vu clones, and the world's first 4th dimension coaster, X. It was a gradual return to sanity for Six Flags from 2001 to 2004 before they officially admitted to their financial issues that came from their rapid expansion from the prior half-decade. The amusement park industry will never see anything close to the 42 coasters that they added over the 2-year span from 1999 to 2000, and it may have ultimately led to the downfall of Six Flags a decade later. But we got some of the best coasters in the world from that insane period of time, so I think I speak for everyone in giving Six Flags a hearty thank you for taking us along for the ride.
And I want to thank you. Oh, I want to thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.